All right, kiddo. We're going to recap this journey. And it all starts with those days when you were just a little girl. And I used to come into your room before leaving for work and whisper in your ear, Daddy loves you and God does too.
In case you couldn't tell by the tears, I'm the mother of the bride, and I'm so proud of her. I'm just gonna look down and stick to the script because it's probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Brittany was born in St. Charles, Missouri on her Grandma Reed's birthday. And like her grandmother, she loved playing music. And how I loved hearing the sounds wafting through the house of Brittany playing the piano, the flute, the piccolo, and her first and most beloved instrument, the organ. The first instrument Brittany ever played was the organ, and she loved it. Brad and I are so incredibly blessed to be Brittany's parents. We've enjoyed the days of softball and volleyball and figure skating, the endless hours of musical theater practices, band performances and competitions, and traveling together. Brittany never minded having us along for the ride, and most of the time it was a ride to remember. Just a few of those include Thoroughly Modern Millie, Field Commander performances, and Miss Ohio Teen, which were all insane and crazy and fun and glorious beyond measure.
Austin, you are my rock, my confidant, and my partner in all life's adventures. You are my calm amidst the chaos. In a world that often feels overwhelming, you are my peace. Today, as I stand before you, I want you to know that my commitment to our marriage is absolute and my faith in us is unshakable. I love you forever, every day, all the time.
Aw.
Brittany. Yeah. Whew.
I know.
That's awesome.
Time has flown. Time has flown. Our dear friends in Germany, Heinrich Huwieser, carrying you around in his rucksack through the Alps when you were a toddler. To Pee-wee football, we went to Grafenwehr, got all the hand-me-down equipment, brought it to Hohenfels, and that's where Austin kicked off that football career. Then I fast forward briefly to Easter Sunday of 2013, Austin's senior year of high school. We went to Easter Mass together. We came back. We're prepping for a little brunch at our home in Burke, Virginia. And I said, you know, Austin, you're graduating high school in about 45 days. What's the plan? You know? And he said, Dad, I've got the plan. Want to pursue a criminal justice degree at Michigan State. I'd like to apply for an Army ROTC scholarship, and last but not least, I'd like to walk onto the football team. I said, sounds like a pretty solid plan. And he accomplished those, and we couldn't be more proud.
I first met Austin his first year at Michigan State, where we were both members of the football team. And Brock and I had joined the team about 2 weeks prior to Austin. And we kind of already established like this bond based on our commonalities, being that we both played wide receiver. The probability of us ever playing was highly, highly unlikely. And no one knew our names. So after meeting Austin, watching him run routes, and hearing coaches call him everything but his name, I knew that Brock and I had made a friend. So Austin, Brock, and I grew really close in the following years. So close that guys would joke and say things like, do the three of you have any other friends? or it's weird how much time you guys spend together. Sitting in the pew today, I couldn't help but think about the times we would go out late on a Saturday night, and he would still wake up Sunday morning and go to church. Austin always had his priorities in order. Those were God, family, and country. Austin loved football, but his loyalties were always to the Army. During the summers during college, Austin would go to Fort Knox, Kentucky to participate in summer training. When he came back the first summer in 2015, we talked and he told me stories about days out in the field, eating MREs, suffering in the blistering heat, strategic planning, ambush raids, really interesting stuff. But when he came back in 2016, something was different. We kind of sat down and we debriefed a little bit. And he's like, dude, I met this girl.
Brittany and Austin's first chapter began in Fort Knox, Kentucky, a place where the humidity was just as intense as their feelings for each other. Covered in camo face paint and basking in each other's stench, love was definitely in the air. Living in tick-infested woods during their field training exercise, Austin kept them entertained by showing off his card tricks. And who knew that is all it would take to sweep our USC grad, Miss Ohio teen queen, off of her feet.
Brittany was eager to introduce us to a new friend that she had met at training, Austin Wolf. All we had time for was a quick hello and congratulations, and we were all off in different directions. But later that summer, Austin came to visit our home, and that's when we saw Brittany's and Austin's love for one another. Their care and concern for one another was evident and splendid. Oh, gosh, you owe me big time. Austin, I love the way you love and care for Brittany. I've seen it so many times. Brad and I are so very blessed to have you join our family.
Austin realized that despite all the changes and uncertainties military life would continue to throw his way, there is one thing he could always count on: the love of his life, our amazing sister, Brittany.
In the snowy mountains of Breckenridge, Colorado, with a lot of sisterly help from Kristen, Austin planned a picture-perfect proposal that melted Brittany's heart. And now, here we all are, connected by their journey, celebrating the beautiful love of Brittany and Austin. To Brittany and Austin, may your love always be as magical as those card tricks in Fort Knox, Kentucky, as enduring as your long-distance relationship, and as hot and sweaty as your time in El Paso.
There's so many joyous moments and privileges that rain down on you as a parent. Every holiday and birthday, every bittersweet moment of growth, from preschool graduation, which I cried at, to college graduation, is made more rich and more glorious because you share it with your child. Today is one of those days made rich and glorious by the love of Brittany and Austin and by the love of our family and friends. Thank you for being here with us today. Your presence is everything. To Brittany and Austin, to love.
One last thing I want to tell you, sweetheart, before I move off the stage, and that is, Daddy loves you, and God does too.
Austin. I, Austin, take you, Brittany,
I, Austin, take you, Brittany,
to be my wife.
to be my wife.
I promise to be faithful to you.
I promise to be faithful to you.
in good times and in bad.
In good times and in bad.
I, Brittany, take you, Austin, to be my husband. I promise to be faithful to you in good times and in bad, in sickness and in health.
To love you and to honor you all the days of my life.